Yeah.
Hi, this is a
Oh.
special bonus episode of Okay, Karen,
Okay, Karen.
and we are going to do a 30-minute movie. One
We're
of our
going to try
favorite
to do it
movies.
30 minutes.
We're going to try and summarize the whole movie in 30 minutes for you. So you don't have to take time, 2 hours to watch a movie. You can just watch it in 30 minutes.
Listen to
with
us.
Angela and Betsy and
Yeah.
hear all the good parts and see a couple pictures along the way. So let's get started. Dirty Dancing. Take it away, Angela.
So we start Dirty Dancing. It was actually made in 1987, but it's taking place in 1963. Remember that, people. And we first meet Baby and her dad, her mama, and her sister, who her sister is kind of a Karen. The sister gets all upset because she didn't bring enough shoes on vacation. Now, I've been there. I've done that. I kind of know.
Yeah, in that part, you would be more like the sister, and I'd be more like the baby.
Yes.
So
because
I don't know
Baby is very naive, very sheltered. So here we are meeting the owner of the resort, who was a patient. The daddy's a doctor. The owner was a patient of the daddy, and the owner
he says, if it wasn't for your dad, I would be standing here a dead man.
Yes.
So they go way back. He owes him a lot. He owes him his life.
He does, and he sets him up in a really nice cabin. You also meet Billy. Billy is not a big part of the movie, but Billy introduces Johnny because they're cousins. Okay, so here we see Johnny for the first time. Man, is he good looking? I mean, come on,
good with his glasses. You can tell already he's kind of a rebel, and that there's a difference in the people that work at this resort. They're not all like all the workers are not in the same group, if you will.
Social class, I think, is what you're trying to say.
Yes.
Also, Johnny is played by the one and only Patrick Swayze, who can dance. Go. So let's fast forward a little bit.
At the same time, we meet the owner's grandson. That same night, the first night they're there. And his name is Neil. And
we don't like Neil.
Neil's just kind of, he's just not that interesting.
No, you don't like Neil. He's very arrogant. He's like, oh, I'm going to own all these 3 resorts. You just don't, and he's a little dork too.
Yeah. So Baby's parents and the owner, Neil's grandfather, they kind of are trying to, set up Neil and Baby, like kind of pushing them together. And they do spend some time together. You'll see in the next night.
They dance, and it's kind of awkward. Yeah. So this is the first time you see the couple, Johnny and Penny, who we think they're a couple right now. Penny looks so pretty. This is my favorite dress of Penny's, by the way. Mm-hmm. And they're the dance instructors at this resort. And Baby sees them for the first time, and she is just like, oh, wow, these people are so good. And it's not like really they're dirty dancing. They're just dancing like, they're really good. Whatever, I don't know the dances, mambo, tango, whatever.
But they're really good, is the point.
Yes, very good.
So Baby first sees them and is kind of in awe, just like starstruck, because they're just awesome. And so she's a little like,
blown away in her little cardigan and her little ballet flats. She's just blown away. So here's Baby. She's not supposed to be there. She follows Billy, remember, Johnny's cousin, and he's carrying 3 watermelons. First of all, 1 watermelon's a lot, 2 watermelon ridiculous, 3 So she asked, I'll help you. And he's like, come on, I'll show you, but you can't tell anyone. Which is really crazy that Billy like, just met this girl. Yes, met her.
Yeah, and I think he likes her a little bit because he invites her to hang out with all of the staff at the staff party. And that's like an obvious no-no. Like the guests are not supposed to be in this area. Not only is it posted, but everybody there knows like this is.
And she's VIP guest. So your dad is very important to my boss. Oh, let me bring you here and introduce you to Dirty Dancing.
Right.
And Baby is what is going on. When they open the doors, you can just see she's like shell-shocked. Her eyes are big. What are they doing? And Billy's like, come on, baby. And she's like, As she's carrying the watermelon.
She's like physically uncomfortable in this situation with everyone dancing this way. I can say that in 1987 when it came out, now I don't know if it's because I was young and I wasn't supposed to be watching it. My mom told us we were not allowed to watch it. So of course we went over to the neighbor's next door. Yeah, and watched it like every day. I don't think my mom had a problem
with us watching it. I don't think,
maybe my mom was aware of the fact there's an abortion in it and we were not.
Yeah.
We didn't know what was going on.
My mom didn't know that.
So
I didn't know that either when I first watched it.
Yeah. So anyway, I remember being like, whoa, like this is a lot in 1987, which then if it's supposed to be 1963, it makes sense that this was like pretty bad, pretty risque. Now in 2020, it really isn't much.
Nothing.
This is every day. Super Bowl halftime shows to where this isn't even, we're not even going to mind this. No big deal.
So this is where Johnny meets Baby, and he kind of comes up to her. Baby's on the side with Billy, and Johnny comes up to her like, oh, like
a dance move on her or something.
Yeah, like weird. And it's really weird. Who introduces themselves like that? But he's not nice to her at all. He's like, Billy, what is she doing here?
Right. And Billy's like, I brought her.
And then Baby replies, I carried a watermelon.
Which she immediately regrets because he walks off and she's like, great. The first thing I said to him is I carried a watermelon.
Yeah, so stupid. Maybe that's how I'll meet somebody. I carried a watermelon. Anyway.
Right. But he comes back and he brings her out on the dance floor and we have the most awkward dance I've ever seen on film.
She doesn't have her cardigan, but she's still in flats. And he's teaching her, and she's like a robot moving. It is
it's like her
awkward.
Yeah, like she's never moved her body in any fluid motion. It's really bad. But at the end,
and she is all like, and Johnny's gone. He's just
he just walks off.
Yeah, she's on the dance floor by herself celebrating what? What are you celebrating?
I don't know.
So so let's fast forward.
Yeah, this is the next night. So the next night after
Johnny is, because he's a dance instructor, he's teaching, he's doing his thing, and they can't find Penny. Where's Penny? Who knows? In
this scene, he's dancing with one of the women that stays there all weekend. Their husbands just come out on the weekends. And they pay for a lot of one-on-one instruction dancing with Johnny.
Yes.
And so we kind of hear, okay, we know this about Johnny now that he's doing private instruction.
He's making some extra money on the side. I'm sure it's money under the table, tax deductible, whatever.
So we do hear, like, Baby overhears that Penny is missing, as you said.
Right. And she goes with Neil. Neil goes to feed her. They go to the kitchen. He asks for gherkin. Do you want some gherkin? What is gherkin? Is that must be in Northern? I don't know what that is. I don't know what it is. And she sees Penny in the corner crying. So Baby, as being Baby, is like, oh, come on, Neil, let me go check on my sister, see how she's doing. Because his sister had a bad date with Robbie. We don't like Robbie, and we'll talk about Robbie a little bit more. He's a waiter that's going to med school. But so they go back and check on, she uses that as an excuse. She goes and tells Neil, I know where Penny is. Neil, Baby, and Johnny go get
Billy. Billy, Baby, and Johnny.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, not Neil. They leave Neil.
She drops Neil.
Billy, Johnny asks, why do you bring her? And Billy's like, in case Neil comes back. And they tell her what's going on. Now we find out what's going on with Penny, which is two big things. Betsy?
Penny, so they find out here that Penny's pregnant. And Baby says to Johnny,
what's he going to do about it?
And he, of course, is defensive because he always says, what am I going to do about it? Oh, it's mine, right?
It's mine. Do you automatically think it's mine? Well, Johnny, I thought it was yours too. Y'all aren't together?
They look like a couple. Together? They dance like a couple. I mean,
oh, yeah.
But he's just very rude to Baby still at this point. So then Baby finds out when they go there and they're helping Penny that it's Robbie's, the waiter, who is more of the upper class people that work there at the resort.
Going to med school. Yeah.
He's going to med school in the fall. And so she's like, Robbie will help you. So they're discussing it, and Baby's very naive,
She's so stupid. She just,
her career is over.
Who's 18 years old is giving advice to these mid-20s, which I'm like, Baby.
Who are working for, they're working. Yes. They have a whole different life.
They've lived in the real world. They are living in the real world. You're not in the real world, Baby.
Right.
And go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, okay.
Well, I was
so
going to say, what's the second problem?
Penny is upset, and baby's like, it's okay, it'll all work out, and
Right.
they're
in her
annoyed
little
by this.
voice. Yeah.
So they have two problems that come up right now. So we know she's pregnant. She wants to get an abortion, but the problems are, one, the money for the abortion, which they don't have, and two,
Right.
the only time the doctor is available or going to be in the area is the afternoon, the night that she has a performance at a neighboring resort, the Sheldrake. And so, of course,
and if she misses it, then they'll lose their job.
They'll get fired. It's a contract they can't miss. And she's like, well, can't somebody fill in? And Johnny says, no, everybody has jobs around here. Nobody can fill in.
Everyone's
so these
working.
are the two problems, the money and getting someone to
and
fill
baby
in. And
Baby tells Penny, it'll be okay. And Penny says, baby, is that your name? Go back to your playpen. And like baby drops her head and walks out. That was savage there.
Yeah. So baby takes it upon herself to help these people out that she just met 48 hours ago.
She just met. And she's danced with one of them. And she's talking to Robbie now. She's like, Robbie, you need to help. And Robbie's like, hey, I don't even know that's my kid. These girls, things happen, blah, blah, blah. It might not even be my kid. And baby is so disgusted by Robbie, which I think everyone is disgusted by Robbie.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're watching it, if you like Robbie, slap yourself. Something's wrong with you.
I agree.
So then she sees, I'm not going to get money from Robbie. So I'm going to go to my dad. And she says, like, hey, Dad, I need $250. And he says,
he's concerned. Like, is everything okay?
Right. And then everything's fine.
And then he says, it's not for something illegal, is it, baby?
And she says, no, Daddy. Lie. No. Because back then, y'all, it was. Okay. So she gets the money. She goes to them and she's like, here's the money. And Penny says, oh my gosh, is this girl for real? And she said, Robbie gave you that? And baby said, no, it's not from Robbie. And Johnny says,
it takes a lot of nerve getting money from your daddy.
Yeah, which is still rude because Johnny, she got you the money. So
and she's helping them.
Yes, yeah, which she does not have to do that. She can go lay out on by that lake, play the stupid games. So then they're like
her sister and her mama.
Yeah.
With the other Karens at the place.
They have one thing done. Now who's going to fill in at the neighboring resort? And they say, Johnny, you're a great teacher. You're a strong teacher. You can teach baby. So then we go in this whole is it montage? Is that the word?
Yes. Of all the dancing lessons, she progressively loses less clothing, more clothing, and is wearing less and less as we see the dance practices going on. This is her awkwardly dancing by herself.
They're just, it's just dancing. A lot. It's though to really good songs. The music's really, really good.
Really good. Her dancing is okay. It gets better, but
it does get better. And Penny's helping.
Lessons.
Yeah, it's just them learning. Now this scene, she's just fed up, and she tells him, she's like, because they do something, and he says, "Okay, 1, 2, 3, lift. We'll do that later. 4, 5, 6. This we'll learn that later." And then she does something wrong, a bad mistake, step, and he just goes off. He's like, and she's like, you know what? I have been busting my butt for you, and you care zero. And all I want to do is drop you on it and leave you hanging. And he's like, oh yeah? And she said, yeah. He said, well, let's get out of here. So they do. She's wearing a bra or whatever and a skirt. And
she changes to all white clothing for some reason, and they take off.
And they go out
to the woods at first to practice on a beam.
Here we go, practicing more. And then we do the big lift scene, which, like Betsy said, she is in all white in water. Because why not? Why not? Wouldn't you wear that?
At this point, when she finally tells him off and is like, look, I'm helping you, guy. Is when you start to see a change of heart. Like he starts to treat her a little nicer and they
when she stands up to him, he does kind of change heart. Yeah. So they are doing the night of the big show. Penny's going to do her thing, and Baby and Johnny are going to do their thing. And Penny says to Baby, I'm scared. And Baby is like, it's going to be okay. Again, 18-year-old, 25-year-old, what is going on here, people?
Yeah, Penny's desperate for help.
Yeah. So they do their dance. It's not 100%. They don't do the big lift. She does something
still
awkward, and she's doing this thing, which, what is that? But big part.
I feel like she missed the lift, or she did something wrong, and what she does to come out of it is like a Brady Bunch move.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know where that came from, but that was.
And Johnny like grabs her and spins her and gets her back in the dance. But big thing about this, they notice a little old couple, a old lady and guy that are staying at their resort, but they're at this resort. Okay, that's going to come back because they notice and they kind of get a little worried that, oh, if they notice the old couple, maybe the old couple noticed her since she's not the actual dance instructor. So they, after the dance, they go back. Something went wrong with the botched abortion. Go figure. And Penny is in pain. So baby runs and gets her daddy. He comes with his medical bag because I guess back then every doctor carried a medical bag.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. I don't really know.
Yeah. And this is really important. The dad asks.
He says, who's responsible for this girl?
And Johnny replies,
I am.
Yes.
Sorry,
and when he says that, baby kind of grabs Johnny's arm, and the dad sees that, and he's like, oh, So
what is going on with my girl?
Yes. He takes care of Penny, and when he goes to leave, Johnny holds out his hand to shake his hand. Daddy wouldn't shake his hand.
No.
And then
Dad says on the walk back, he said, is that what my money went towards? And
very mad.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I don't want you hanging out with those people, and wash your face, get that off your face, because I don't want your mama to see.
And I can't really blame him. They're a good deal older, and someone's pregnant.
Obviously up
they
to
went
no
for
good.
An illegal abortion. Like,
yes.
There's a lot of reasons to kind of, not.
So it becomes awkward.
Yes.
And after he says to her, I don't want you hanging out with him, what does baby do? Goes straight over to Johnny's.
Immediately goes to Johnny's room.
She's still in the same clothes. And, she's talking to Johnny. I'm sorry about my dad, how he acted. He shouldn't have treated you that way. She is apologizing. And Johnny's just,
Johnny's like, your dad was great. And he did, you don't have to apologize. What he did was great, and baby, of course, like, no, you're great. You're everything. This is where Johnny tells her that his life is really hard, and he's got like, what do you do? Like, you have these wealthy women that are like
throwing themselves
at you and shoving money in your pocket. And he's like, I'm not the one using them; they're the ones using me.
Right.
So
and you kind of do feel a little bad for Johnny.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't feel as bad as what I think the writers of the movie want you to feel. They want you to feel really bad for, he's in such a hard spot.
I don't feel that bad for him.
Not have sex with older women for money. Well, there's a lot of people who don't have sex with older women for money. They're all over the place.
So they do a let's dance. And they put on this slow song. And of course the dancing leads to sex.
Yes.
I mean, she is totally listening to her dad.
There you go.
So
then
the next day,
for the first time.
Yeah. Next day, baby goes and sees Penny. Penny, how are you doing? And Johnny walks in, and Penny notices there's something going on between these two. And baby leaves awkwardly, and Penny tells Johnny, you need to stop that. And Johnny says, like, I got it. It's handled.
Yeah, it's okay. I have it under control. And she's like, no, you don't. No, you don't.
Quit. Not with that guess. So they come outside. Baby and Johnny kind of have an awkwardness there because
they just had sex. Day after sex, awkward conversation here.
And he kind of walks off, and she goes, Johnny? And he just turns around.
And
he just smiles at her.
So there's that. And she smiles back. She's like, oh, okay. He smiled at me.
And everything is good.
Yeah. Everything's good. Later that day,
they're continuing to have sex. So I guess it just
so the next, like, what? 3 or 4 days are just them like having sex and going about the normal
and you
camp
wonder
life.
What is the mom, what is the dad, and what is the sister thinking, because she's with Johnny the whole time.
She is. And just so they're either doing dance lessons together or they're sleeping together.
Having sex. Yeah.
And I have to say that the mom though is, I don't know if she's a Karen, but she is just out of it. So when the dad gets up in the middle of the night. I don't think
she's a Karen. I think she's a little cuckoo.
Yeah, the dad gets up in the middle of the night, leaves with his hospital bag and his teenage daughter. She just is like, is everything okay? And he's like, yeah, go back to sleep. That's it. No more questions.
And she does.
She doesn't notice that the daughter is acting funny.
Judy would not. She would be like, oh, and put on her little robe and go out and see what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
She's not going to roll over. No. Go back to sleep. No.
My mom definitely would have noticed if there was like that much tension between me and my dad. Also, where am I? Well, she'd be like, where's our other daughter? The whole time she's gone.
We're on a family vacation and I haven't seen her in 4 days.
Yeah, so the mom's role is not really realistic. And maybe there are moms out there like that, but not our moms.
Not our moms. No.
So they're just sleeping together the next few days.
And
they're dancing.
We're building up to the final show. The dad actually says at breakfast one morning, where Betsy said it was awkward, we're leaving. And they're like, no, we can't leave. Yes, we're leaving. And the sister says, well, I'm singing in the final show, so we have to stay. So they end up staying. And it's just now building up to the final show.
We do see some progress in Baby and Johnny's relationship though, because they are getting to know each other and she's starting to see that the world isn't perfect in a lot of ways.
Yes.
I mean, he's starting to see that she isn't perfect, because so Neil comes in and at one point when they're practicing and says, oh, we're going to do this kind of music for the final big production at the end of the season for the resort when everyone's leaving. And, Johnny says, well, I want to do this. And basically Neil's
He's got some great ideas. Yeah. Neil's like, no, do what is it? Pachanka or something?
Pachanka, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and Johnny's like, that's boring. That's old. But Neil just cuts him off, and Baby, of course, is like, why don't you stand up for him? And why don't you do this? And, he's like, that's not how it works around here.
Right.
And then they're walking home. And they happen to see far away Baby's family, and she's like, duck, like get in the bushes so they don't see us. Pretty much.
See us, right?
Oh, and really? You want me to stand up?
It's Baby's dad, Baby's sister, which is AK Karen, and Robbie, who is kind of making a move on the sister.
Yeah.
And Johnny gets a little peeved. He's like, oh, you want me to stand up, but you can't stand up for me?
Yeah, you're not even telling your family that we're dating.
Right. So. Which Dad said, don't stand around. Don't be around him. So that's understandable.
And they're just hanging out outside of Penny's house one day.
And
no big deal.
Here comes Robbie. Dun, dun, dun. And Robbie makes a stupid comment like,
I guess I chose the wrong sister.
And Johnny hops over the railing and pops him and they fight. And
he kicks his butt, really.
Yeah,
Robbie doesn't do much.
And you're really internally, you're like, good. Robbie
he's a jerk. He's a jerk.
He really is.
I thought he said something about slumming it as well.
I think he might say slumming, but he did say he chose the wrong sister.
And, and he kind of had it coming because honestly, so Robbie got Penny pregnant and wouldn't help her in any way. And, and he's good. Johnny's good friends with Penny, and then he's going to go and talk bad about Baby. And it's just like, okay, that's it, buddy. I'm going to.
Oh, he totally had it coming.
So,
so this is the scene where Baby's dad is so mad. Yeah. And she comes up to her dad and she's like,
but we didn't tell them about the wallets.
Oh, yes.
So they're at dinner one night and the owner says, there's a thief. Like there's been wallets stolen from all these different guests. And one of the older women that likes to dance with Johnny said she thinks it was Johnny. And
because she says Johnny's name, because she's actually coming out of Robbie's, she's a little slut. She's coming out of Robbie's place and she sees Baby early in the morning coming out of Johnny's. So that's why she's
mad at Johnny.
It's Johnny's name.
Johnny's sleeping with somebody else. So she says she thinks it's Johnny that stole the wallet, or wallets, because there's been some missing. And Baby's like, no, they're at dinner. And of course, the owner is discussing this with her dad, which is kind of weird anyway.
Is completely wrong.
Yeah, so baby's like, no, I know it wasn't Johnny. He wouldn't do that. I know it wasn't Johnny. I know it wasn't Johnny, and on and on and on.
And they're like, well, baby, how do you know? How do you know? And finally, in front of the owner, in front of Neil, and in front of her family, she has to say, because I was with Johnny all night last night.
Yeah.
So basically,
yeah.
And so Dad, furious, but she took up for Johnny.
She did. So she admitted it. Yeah. She
this
stood up for him.
This is the scene though. Her dad's sitting out there overlooking the lake. It's really nice. He is pissed. And baby comes up and she's like, Daddy, I'm sorry I lied to you. But you lied to me too. Okay. What? What? I can't even. You lied to me too? Is that even gonna work?
I'm sorry I lied to you, but you lied to me also. And then she said something about, you lied to me about how the world works. And you told me if people are good, then good things happen to them and all these things. And I'm like, this isn't really the same. You sound like
she gives this just long, passionate, really selfish speech.
And the dad sits there like this. He doesn't really respond.
He doesn't say anything. Nothing. And she walks off. And then Johnny comes to see the dad because Johnny did get fired. We found that out. What they do find out is the old couple, remember, that was at the other resort, they actually were stealing all the wallets and they made a mint this summer from both resorts.
Yeah.
But
so they found out it wasn't
baby's
Johnny.
like, she's like walking around and she's like, oh, good. So you get to keep your job. And he's like, no, I don't. And she said, why? Because of me? I did the right thing and you lose your job anyway. And she's like walking around in her flats again.
She's just stomping around saying like, it doesn't even matter. And he's like, no, it matters.
She's
yelling.
You stuck
up for me, baby. Nobody's ever stuck up for me like that. Nobody's ever done that for me before, baby.
It doesn't matter,
like,
Johnny.
It doesn't matter because you got fired anyway.
I did all that for nothing. I hurt my family. That's right. You got fired for nothing. So then we go to the scene. Johnny goes and sees her dad. And Johnny tells the dad, hey, I know you want to be like. So Johnny sees dad, gives him a whole lecture about, I know you want baby to be like you. And dad's like, don't tell me how my daughter is. And Johnny leaves. And he just walks off. He's in his.
And Johnny was trying to say something nice, like, he really respectful.
Was, because he does know that they've raised baby to be good. Yeah. So here, the next scene, we see Johnny is leaving. They say their goodbyes. He's like, I never regretted it. And she said, neither did I. And
she's like the wind.
Yeah, and he just fishtails it out on the rocks.
As he always does. Because honestly, one of the best things about this movie is the soundtrack. They do a great mix of the late 50s, 60s music and the 80s music. Love it. Okay, moving on. So he's gone. Now, all that's left now is the final big goodbye show for the season.
Which he always performs. So we're at the show. The family's sitting. Here comes Robbie. He walks by. And the dad's like, oh, Robbie, I have something for you. And he gives him money. And Robbie's like,
for school, I guess.
Yeah. And he's like, sir, thank you so much. And thank you for the penny situation. You know, we always get ourselves in situations like that. And the dad's like, wait, what? And Robbie said, oh, I mean, I thought baby told you. She told me she told you. And the dad like rips the envelope out from Robbie's hand, puts it back in his pocket and walks off.
Yeah.
No, Robbie. Yeah. So dad is starting to realize maybe Johnny is not that bad. Yeah. And speaking of Johnny, who walks in? Hello.
Everybody loves it. Johnny's back. Everybody's kind of excited to see Johnny
all their
again.
Group, they're like, woo, Johnny. And they're all happy. And he's looking, oh, there's baby. And he walks over to baby and he says,
nobody puts baby in the corner.
And grabs her hand. And the dad goes to stand up and the mom's like, sit down. And they go up on stage.
They just walk right up there.
Yeah, while everyone's singing, the sister's up there singing. She's doing some stupid little thing wearing this ridiculous costume. And Johnny gives his speech.
Yeah, he says this is the last night of the season and we always close. Tonight I'm going to do my kind of dance into my kind of music.
My kind of music. With a partner who is, her name is Frances. He actually says her real name. And the dad stands up again and the mom sits him back down.
Yeah.
And here we go.
Which is the first time the mom has ever done anything the whole movie, but okay.
Right.
And so then they start dancing, and they dance so well together. And it's not really dirty dancing. They just look
good. There's a little part of it. It is. It's the dance that they did at the other resort, except they do it right this time.
Yeah, and it looks a lot better.
So, and in one of the scenes, she goes like this.
Oh, yeah. I think I have. No, I don't have to picture it.
Yeah, it's a bit. I don't know why. It's always stuck out in my head.
Her hair. It sticks out in my head, too. There we go. There it is.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. And what are they dancing to? Do you know the song?
Time of My Life.
Yes, so good. And they really do they just knock it out of the park. And at the very end, they do the lift, and everyone is like, "What?" It is so good. And then everyone starts dancing. The owner's wife, who's wearing a fur and sitting in the back. Why on both accounts? Flips off her fur and starts dancing, and the owner's like, "What's going on?"
Everyone is dancing. Everybody comes out dancing.
Only thing about this scene is I don't like Penny's outfit. It's that red with black polka dots, and her hair's in a twist. She looks like she's 54 years old. Penny.
Okay.
What's going on?
This is the last image I have, so you'll just have to say when everyone's dancing.
And yes.
Everyone together. You know, the lower class people that work there are dancing with the higher class people.
Yes. It doesn't matter.
So much happiness all over the place.
And
that's
Johnny,
the last conversation.
Johnny and Baby go to leave. Johnny's like, "Come on," and the dad stops them. And the dad says, "Do you know?"
You say it because you know the line.
Okay. The dad says, "When I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong, and I was wrong." And I guess that's his apology. And then he looks at Baby and he says, "You were wonderful out there tonight." And everything's good, people. Everything is good. And we end with Johnny and Baby singing, and they kind of sing to each other at the very end, and then he lifts her up, and everyone's happy. Dirty Dancing is over. I think they go on to have 5 kids. I don't know. I'm just making that
up. There was never a sequel, and probably for a good reason, because we know that this is like not the best story or the best movie in the world. But when you watch it when you're young and you watch it a lot, and it has good music,
it's fun.
It becomes music to you.
I'm glad they didn't have a sequel.
We're gonna wrap it up. So
this is our 30 minutes.
And
enjoy.
We will do another one later. 30-minute movies with Karen.